Hi guys, we're going to talk about surface area prisms today. I do have my mask on, so I might be a little muffled. Make sure you contact us if you have any questions or can't hear very well. So what are we going to do today? Well, we're going to talk about surface area. And what surface area is it's basically the wrapping paper that we would use if we were going to wrap up a 3D picture, and it's the exact amount of wrapping paper. So it'd be all the paper we would need here. That's an area. Here, that's an area. And here, that's an area in the back and all the stuff we can't see. And we're going to add it all together. Here are the words you'll need to know. Area is the amount of space by a two-dimensional figure. So when we're talking about surface area, that would be like the amount of space on just the front or just the right side, okay? A net is what happens when you unfold that box. If you unfold that box, you'd have the bottom and the sides and the back, and then you'd have the front and then the top. So it might look like this. That is a net, and that takes a 3D figure and it makes it a two-dimensional figure. A prism, remember, is a 3D figure, and it has two bases that are the exact same. Rectangular prisms are a little tricky because the two bases could be whatever you pick. But when you had those triangular prisms, it was a little bit easier to tell what the base was because the bases would have been the triangles because everything else connects it is a rectangle, okay? And then surface area will be the total area of all the sides when you add it together. That's that wrapping paper we will need. So let's practice some area with two-dimensional figures so that we can be good at using them for three-dimensional figures. When you have a triangle, remember the base would be where the height makes a right angle. So you're looking for that right angle, and the base would be 6 and the height would be 4. What was the area of a triangle? That was base times height, divide by 2. So it's 6 times 4, divide by 2. That's 24 divided by 2, and that's 12 square inches. For a rectangle, it's just base times height. And here it'll just be 9 times 8, which is 72 square inches. So we're going to use those formulas today when we find surface area because some of the pieces will be triangles, squares, or rectangles. Okay, now when you have a three-dimensional shape, they suggest that you use a net to figure out all these areas by unfolding it. Now, Mrs. Bruno has a couple other options for you if this net thing is confusing, because sometimes it is. But you kind of need to remember that prisms will have a top, a bottom. Those will be the same. A left and right will be the same. And the front and back, those will be the same. So if you're here, this is definitely the top, and this could be the bottom. And when you look at the top, you got to figure out what's this length and what's this length. So this guy is 12. This length is 6. The bottom will be the same, 12 and 6. Now, these two are the right and the left, okay? These two are the right and the left because the front and the back connect to the top and the bottom. So this will be the left and this will be the right. On the left, how tall is this guy? Well, you have a 3 and you have a 6. Okay, so this is smaller, so that will get the 3, this will get the 6, this will get the 3, and this will be the 6. And now you have to do the front and the back. I'll put a K for back. In the front here, there's a 12 and there's a 3. Well, we already know that all of these are going to be 12. And this will be 3, this will be 12, and this will be 3. And then you can find the area of all the pieces and you could add them together to figure out what the surface area is. But on this one, we're just figuring out how to unfold it. So here's more practice with the unfold. If this is the front, okay, you have a 20 by how tall is it? It's kind of hard to tell. Is it the 5 or the 4? I think this is the 4 and this is the 5. So this will be 20. The height of the front will be 5. So what else is 5? A is 5. Okay. What is D down here? Because all of these will have to be 20. Okay, if this is the front, this one will be the back. This will be the top. So what is the top going on? Well, definitely the 20, but what is this guy going to be? This guy is going to be 4. So C is 4. And what about B? B will be on the sides. You got a 5. And what else do you have? 5 and a B is a 4 as well. They are tricky. Sometimes it's easier for me just to draw the top and bottom and then just draw one rectangle. So what would the top and bottom be? 20 by 4. And I'll know that there are 2 of those that are 20 by 4. You do not have to connect your nets. Then you can do the front and the back. The front and the back are also long rectangles, and those will be 20 by 5, and there will be 2 of those. You do not have to connect them. And then all you have left is the left and the right. The left and the right are little ones, and they are 4 by 5, and those are the same. So if it's easier for you to separate them instead of connecting your net, you can do that. So now let's actually find the surface area. Okay, I'm going to do it once with the net and once separately. First, I'm going to do it separately because I think that's an easier way for you to do it. So let's do the top and the bottom first. The top and the bottom is a bigger looking rectangle. And if I trace the top, we can figure out the base is 3 and the height is 5. But the bottom is the exact same thing. So what's the area of this? 15. Well, the bottom's area is also going to be 15. So you got 2 of them. Next, you have the front and the back. That's a narrower rectangle. Can you see it? Here's the front. What do I have? I have a 1 by a 3, and that area is base times height is 3, but there are 2 of them, so I have another 3. And then I have the left and the right, which is a longer one again. And what do I have? I have a 5. How tall is this? Well, it's the same as over here. It's the 5 by a 1, which is 5, and there are 2 of them. Add up all your sides for your total surface area. 15 plus 15 is 30. 3 plus 3 is 6. 5 and 5 is 10. That's a 46. We're talking about square inches still, square inches for the surface area. If you do it with the nets, that's perfectly fine. In fact, your worksheet might have these drawn out for you, but you can decide how you want to do it. This looks like this will be the bottom, okay? So the bottom is a 3 by a 5. So this is 3 and this is 5. Then if you unfold it, the next piece would be this guy. So it's 5 all the way across here, guys, because all of these are 5. But when you unfold it, how tall is it? This is 1. These 2 are the same, so it's another 5 and a 3. And these 2 are the same, so it's another 5 and a 1. Then you have the 2 sides still to count for. You have a 3. And what else do you have? A 1. So this guy is also a 3, and this is a 1. Find the area of all the pieces. Base times height is 3 for this piece. 5 times 3 is 15 for this piece. There's a 3. This one's a 5. 3 times 5 here is a 15, and a 5 by 1 is 5 here. Add them all up for your surface area. Again, I think it's a little easier to do them in pairs, but you can do them whatever way you feel comfortable. On this one, you don't get an option to do it in pairs because they labeled everything for us. So we can find the surface area by finding the area of all the rectangles and adding them together. So let's do this big one down here first. It's 40 by 8. Base times height would be 320. There will be another 320 somewhere. Can you find it? Here it is, 40 by 8. That's the other 320. I already know what the answer is going to be because if you add those two, it's 640, and we're already out of choices, but let's go on and finish. This guy is going to be 5 by 40. 5 times 40 is 200. There should be another one, and here it is. And then these little guys are 8 by 5, which is 40 and 40. So we have 640, 200 and 200 is 400, 40 and 40 is 80. Add them together and we get what we just said we were going to get, 1120 millimeters squared. Let's try Talia wrapping the gift, okay? You can make a net if you want, but this time let's try to do it in the rectangle way. You know, the top and bottom are the same. So let's go ahead and draw the top and bottom. It's kind of a smaller looking rectangle. It almost looks like a parallelogram, but you know that's just the 3D look. There's no labels here, but the bottom is the same. There are labels there, and this guy is a 3 foot by 1 foot rectangle. So 3 by 1 is 3, and there's a whole nother one. I don't need to draw it. So there's going to be another one that's 3 as well. Now let's look at the left and the right, because those will be the same as well. The left and the right are a little bit taller, maybe. Okay, so what are the labels? Well, this one is 4. This one doesn't have a label, but doesn't this have to be the same as this over here? Yes, so that's 4 by 1, which is 4. But we know the right is the exact same, so there's another 4. I did the top, the bottom, the left, the right. I just need to do the front and the back. That's a bigger rectangle again. Definitely is 4 tall if I trace it. And the bottom will be 3. 4 times 3 is 12. That's the base times the height, but there's also another one for another 12. So we have a 6, an 8, and a 24. If you add them together, well, 8 and 6 is 14. Mrs. Bruno didn't grab her calculator. So that's 38 feet squared. These are tricky, but I know you can do them. Okay, Abdul this time has all the labels again. So we're going to use the net and go ahead and figure out all the areas of the pieces and add them together. 3 times 1 is 3 for this top rectangle. There should be another one somewhere, and this is it down here. 3 times 1 is 3. This bigger guy is 2 by 3, which is 6. Let's find another one. Here it is. 2 times 3 is 6. And now these two also go together. 2 by 1 is 2. 2 by 1 is 2. Add them together. You get 6 for these two, 12 for these two, and 4 for these two. 6 and 4 is 10. Mrs. Bruno's not using her calculator again. 10 and 12 is 22 square feet. If you have your calculator, you can just add them all up. That's the least amount she needs to cover one cushion. And they just wanted one cushion on this. Sometimes they are tricky and ask us for more than one cushion. So what if it's a triangular prism? It's the same type of thing, except you will have triangles. So on these guys, you'll do base times height divide by 2. Let's be careful when we label, and let's just practice labeling this one. These are the two triangles. You can see what happens here. And the short side is 3, and the tall side is 4. You don't need to know the hypotenuse. Then you have a square piece, a rectangle piece. All of these are going to be different this time, okay? So these two are the ones that connect with the 4. So this guy is going to be here. You see it? So this one is a 4 by 4. 4 by 4. Now let's find another piece here. We have a 4 by 3. I didn't think they did a very good job drawing this actual net, but that's a 4 by 3. And then there's one more. That's the top piece here, and that's a 4 by 5. So this will be the same because the two triangles are the same. And you can find the area of all the pieces and add it together. 5 times 4 is 20. 4 times 4 is 16. 3 times 4 is 12. Circle the ones we're adding here. Base times height, divide by 2. That's 4 times 3 divided by 2, which is 6 for this one and 6 for this one. So we have 20. The two 6s will be 12, a 16, and a 12. Let's do this. That's a 24. These two are a 36. Or just use your calculator. Mrs. Bruno's getting 60 centimeters squared. Okay, we're almost done, I think. This time, they already found it all. She did this, but she did something wrong. What did she do wrong? Let's see. 10 times 5 is 50. This one's okay. What's this? 6 by 5. That's 30. I like it. And here's an 8 by 5, which is 40. I like that. So she must have messed up her triangles. What did she do? She took 6 times 8, but it's supposed to be base times height divided by 2. She forgot to divide by 2. So she messed up the triangles. Those are not supposed to be 48. Those are supposed to be 24. Okay? This time we will do one of these on our own. And then one more practice and then we'll be done. Let's not draw the net. Let's draw our own picture this time. Let's draw the bottom. The bottom is a rectangle. Can you see it? Here it is. It's 8 by 10, and that's 80. This time there's not a pair for the bottom. That's all there is. There's one on the right. The right is also a rectangle. Can you see this one? This one's a 3 by a 10. 3 by a 10. So my picture's kind of garbage, but it's 3 by 10, which is 30. I kind of labeled it bad too. Let's put the 3 here and the 10 here. That's 30. Doesn't really matter though. Now, is the left going to be the same? Well, I don't know. Let's see. The left is definitely going to be 10 still. 10. What is this length though? This length is going to be, well, Mrs. Bruno didn't do very good. I said this right was 10 by 3 because I thought the 3 went right here, but do you see how the 5 went right there? That was actually a 10 by 5. This is sad that I messed it up because now everyone's going to be confused, but you're going to have to deal with it, kids. The video's almost over. So this is a 10 and this is a 5, so that's 50. Now the left, though, they didn't tell me enough information really to figure that out. Usually it should say another number here. We're going to guess that if this is 5, then this must be 5 as well. Even though they didn't tell me and they should have, this is going to be 5 as well. So this is 10, and then this is also going to be 5. They should have written another number there, and they did not. And then you have 2 triangles. That's base times height divided by 2, and that's 8 times 3. Divide by 2. 24 divided by 2 is 12. And the other one has to be the same, which is 12. So we're going to take 80. 50 and 50 is 100. 12 and 12 is 24. Add it up, and you get 204. What are we talking about? Inches squared. Okay, I'm not happy with this. They should have given you the 5, but hopefully the next one will be better. Yeah, this one they're going to give us the labels we need. She's making a tent with these dimensions. They want us to round to the nearest whole foot. How much does she need to create the tent? Okay, so what does A have to be here? A has to be the same thing as what's over here, so that is 9. B has to be the same thing that's down here, which is 7. What's the area of one of the triangles? Base times height divided by 2, which will be 7 times 6 divided by 2. 42 divided by 2 is 21. And what's the total area? Well, we have 2 triangles, 21 and 21. That's 42. Then you have the left, and the left is a 7 by 9. 7 by 9 is 63. Then you have the bottom, which is 7 by 9 again, which is another 63. And then you have the right, which is a 7 by 9, which is 63 again. And those don't usually have to match, so that is a coincidence. And you all add them up. 63, 63, and a 42. What's this? 3, 6, 9, 10, 11. There's a 10. There's a 12, 22, 23 maybe. 231 square feet. Okay, so there's a couple ways for you to look at surface area. Some kids do think it's tricky, but I know that you'll be able to figure out the more you practice.